Close your eyes and think about this. Are you really awake right now? How do you know this? Because you look at your hand or at something? Because you feel pain? Or because you think time flows like water? You thought the same thing when you were dreaming. There too, you had a body, you had fears, you were in pain, everything was real, until you woke up from sleep. And right at that moment, Ibn Arabi steps onto the stage and leaves that dangerous, frightening question right in the middle of the scene. And this question scratches the mind like a claw and does not let it rest. Here is that question. What if you haven't woken up yet? What if this world is not something that is as you think, but only something that appears? This video you are about to watch and listen to was not made for you to find peace. You will not feel good, because what you are about to hear will make you ask yourself the question, who am I? And this question will not be an easy one. If you are not ready, close the screen. If you are ready, sit back in your chair, take your tea or coffee, lean back. We are beginning. Yes, according to Ibn Arabi, what we call existence is not a reality that stands there as we assume. The key point here is this. He does not say it does not exist. He says it is not as you think. The table you see, your body, the stars, time, even your thoughts, none of these exist as essence. They only appear as if they exist. And this is exactly where human beings fall into illusion. What truly exists is only the existence of Allah. At this point, most people hear an inner voice saying, "No way, that's too much. Here I am. Look, I hit the table with my hand. Look, I feel pain. How can this be an illusion?" This is exactly where Ibn Arabi steps in, because everyone makes this objection, and he makes the first distinction: existence and manifestation, zuhur. Manifestation means appearing. Existence means being self-subsistent. And the one who cannot grasp this distinction spends their entire life looking from the wrong place and holding on to the wrong thing. Now listen carefully. The secret is hidden here. Think of a shadow. A shadow exists, right? But it cannot exist on its own. Without light, it disappears. The shadow is not the light itself, but it cannot exist without it. Now look, this example seems simple, doesn't it? But the devastating conclusion is coming. The universe exists in exactly this way. That means we are shadows of Allah's existence. And right there he says this. He does not say, "You are not real." He says, "You are not the original, you are not the essence." And the Master gently warns at this point. If the shadow assumes it exists by itself, it denies the light. This is humanity's greatest illusion. And this illusion is the source of all suffering. Again, Ibn Arabi says, "The world is a barzakh between absolute existence and absolute nothingness. We are neither fully existent nor completely non-existent. And we are trapped in this in-between state. All our contradictions come from this. That is why we change. That is why we decay. That is why we die. What human beings truly cannot accept is exactly this. If we were true existence, we would not vanish. If we were pure nothingness, we would not appear. This is what must be understood. That is why death is not a punishment. But not everyone wants to hear this. Death is the unveiling of reality. And here he uses the most dangerous word, and most people misunderstand it: imagination. But not in the sense of a fairy tale. Imagination is the space between perceiving consciousness and absolute truth. It is not what deceives you, it is what carries you. In a dream, you suffer, you run, you are afraid. Everything is real. Even your heart rate changes. But when you wake up, what do you say? It felt real, but it wasn't real. So Ibn Arabi says, the waking state is a more intense form of the dream, and this sentence shatters the human mind. Yes, this realm is Allah's dream, but not an ordinary dream, a dream in which truth becomes visible. And there are some people, they are different here. They wake up while awake. They realize they are inside the dream. That is why they do not cling too tightly to this world. That is why they seem strange and marked. People call them crazy, but they are not crazy. They simply did not get lost in the dream. Then another question arises. The question everyone runs from. What is the thing you call I? Is it the body? The body changes? Is it thought? It comes and goes? Is it the soul? You don't even know what that is. So the I you assume is not as solid as you think. And when this is realized, the hair on your body stands on end. You feel a deep chill inside. And here Ibn Arabi lowers the mysterious veil and whispers the most dangerous sentence from behind the curtain. The ego is a mask Allah wears to look at himself. That is why the one who says I exist unknowingly makes a claim to existence. And this has cost humanity dearly. But he never said, you are Allah. He said this with a fine line. The existence that appears in you does not belong to you. The foundation of this statement is clear. I was a hidden treasure and I wanted to be known. The one who wants to be known is Allah. The way of knowing is appearing. The universe is the result of this desire to be known. But never forget this. The mirror breaks. The face never diminishes. Human beings are mirrors. And some people are frightened when they look at themselves, because what they see is not themselves. Something else is looking through them. This is the real issue. So where does shirk begin? This is the piercing question, not in idols, but in attributing existence to money, to power, to the body, to intellect, to the ego. To see these as true existence is hidden shirk. And when a person realizes this, they begin to read life from a completely different place. To say, there is no existence but Allah, means there is no actor but Allah. The one who understands this does not fear, because they have nothing left to lose. And the final point is this: there is no turning back from here. Allah is not in a place, but He appears everywhere. This is not a contradiction. This is the limit of perception. Think about it. Does a fish in the ocean ask about water? No, because it is already inside it. Human beings ask about Allah, because they are inside Him, but unaware. And here Ibn Arabi leaves the words, and the final sentence falls into the soul. The one who seeks Allah has veiled what he seeks. This knowledge is extremely dangerous. It is not given to everyone, because the one who misunderstands it either falls into denial or becomes arrogant. That is why he chooses silence, uses symbols, says shadow, says imagination, and whispers, "You cannot touch the truth without abandoning the existence you assume." And now stop. Pause for a moment. If even the slightest discomfort arose within you, if something inside your mind feels like it shifted from its place, know this. This video achieved its purpose, because this channel exists not to comfort, but to awaken. If you want to feel that you are not alone on this journey, if you want to be on the next stop of this train, don't forget to like the channel, subscribe, and write this in the comments. Where am I? Because some questions are more valuable than their answers. See you at the next stop. Mysterious Train.